It's a difficult subject, yet it's very common. In fact, each year, more Albertans die by suicide than in traffic fatalities. It's something Mark Skorun is all too familiar with. He lost his son Evan to suicide 4 years ago. So now Mark is raising money and awareness for suicide prevention with the second annual Evan Skorun Memorial Golf Tournament. With Mark is Mara Grunau from the Center for Suicide Prevention. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here. Mark, I first want to start off with saying I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking with us this morning.
My pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about Evan.
Evan was a great kid. He loved sports, loved hockey, loved children, loved dogs. He was loved by his family. Just a jokester, you know. I mean, a pleasure to be around, a handsome young man.
Oh, yeah. We've got some photos here of Evan.
Everything about that, you know. And then all of a sudden, he dealt with depression. As I told you before, it was sort of a thing in my family. His grandfather did the same thing, and I kind of dealt with depression for a long time. So when he passed away, it took a while, but we want to talk about this subject. It's very difficult to talk about.
I'm sure.
But as you mentioned, a lot of people die, and it causes a lot of strain in relationships, marriages, families. So it's important for us to get out there and talk about it, and with Mara's help, you know, through education, educate people about this.
Absolutely. Mara, tell us a little bit about suicide. First of all, how common is it?
Well, you're right in your introduction, Leah. More Albertans die by suicide every year than they do in traffic fatalities. Around the world, more people die by suicide every year than in homicide and war combined.
Combined.
So if we think about everything we hear going on in Syria, for instance, and the burden of suicide is much, much higher than that.
Wow. And yet we just don't talk about it. What is your message to people out there? This is something that should be talked about and not, you know, it's not putting ideas in people's head to talk about it.
No, that's a really common misconception. Talking about suicide does not incite suicide. It does not encourage it. It does not put the idea in somebody's head. It's the opposite. If someone's at risk, they're carrying this really heavy burden. They're in deep, deep psychological pain. And they don't know what to do. Their vision is just getting more and more constricted. They're looking down the tunnel, and they're just looking for any way out of the pain. Right. If you come along and ask them, it gives them an opportunity. It gives them a handout, and then they can accept the help that you can offer.
Right. Mark, what do you want people to understand about suicide?
I want people to understand that, you know, it can be prevented by us opening up and being sympathetic to somebody that talks about it, you know, to encourage them to talk about it. Right. Take the stigma away, because I myself, for the longest time, didn't want to talk about depression.
Oh, I'm sure.
So now people have opened up and talked to me, as I mentioned to you before, and they go, yeah, you know, I've wanted to talk about this, so just open up your ear. I attend these tournaments, raise awareness, but also be very receptive to somebody that's talking about it, and don't take it seriously. If they said they're going to take their life, try to get them some help. And just be a friend. And I think we all can play a part in prevention.
Absolutely. What do you want people to know, Mara?
People who die by suicide or consider suicide don't actually want to die. Okay. They want the pain to end. And to Mark's point, any talk of ending their life or being a burden, take it seriously. Okay. Have a candid conversation with your loved ones.
Wonderful. Now, you've organized this golf tournament in memory of Evan, but what do you want to achieve with this golf tournament?
Well, number one, we want to raise funds to help me get the message across through education, but also get people talking about it and celebrating Evan's life. So it's not a loss, but actually an educational thing where we can learn from it, and you know, and we do talk about it. There's so many people that are involved in it. The TROP, the bar that sponsors us, as well as the golf tournament. I mean, people have been so given, it's unbelievable. And people just are willing to talk about it. And that's what this is all about. To let people know, remove the stigma. If you know somebody that's gonna, it's not a bad thing. Bring it to somebody's attention and just talk about it.
Right, just talk about it, get it out there.
And
wonderful.
And I just wanna have my son's memory live forever.
Absolutely, right? So. Let's do that. All right, you've got the golf tournament happening this weekend. Let's put the information up so we can get everybody on board if they are willing. We don't have the event board, so we'll go through it. So tell us exactly what day it is.
It's June 9th.
June 9th.
There will be buses to take you to the golf course, and then bring you back. Then we
and
have
which golf course is involved? Springbanks?
Springbank Links.
Great.
And we also, after we have a sort of a dinner and silent auction at the bar, so you guys are welcome.
At the TROP, wonderful.
At the TROP, yeah. And it's a lot of fun, as Mira can probably tell you. And
it's been very successful. Last year, raised, was it $12,000?
$12,000, yeah.
Amazing.
We're hoping that we'll get that number up this year.
Absolutely.
And shoot for more next year.
And shoot for more next year.
It's a fantastic event. People love it, a lot of fun, but also people talk about it.
Which is great, and that's
Absolutely.
the point. Thank you both so much for coming on the show this morning
Thank
to talk
you, Leah.
about this and raise some awareness. It's a fantastic issue
Thank
to
you for
discuss.
having us. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.